Good morning. Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, March 26th of 2023. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives that create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. Today's topic is about the difference you have made. The difference you have made. Sometimes we sit around and we're wondering, what can I do to make a difference in the world? Or how can I help in this situation? Or, what is my purpose in this lifetime? Why am I here? But how often do we reflect on the difference that we've already made? Right? Because I'm going to speak to you. You have no doubt been utilized as an instrument of the divine, of divine will in some way, either through some form of expression that is to be expressed in the world or some form of service, and probably both. Absolutely both. Not probably, definitely both. As long as your body has breath, you will continue to be inspired towards some purpose. It is through divinely inspired expression and service that we come to know ourselves and our source and evolve our souls, right? There is a hadith Qudsi, a sacred saying that the angels gave us it's a saying from God that says that God said, I was a hidden treasure and I desired to be known. So I created the creation and I made them to know me. So everything in creation is made and exists through the breath of source, which is one pure unconditional love. And our breath that breathes, it's like this creation is one body that breathes with one breath. And as we human beings, we as humanity, we have been given this thing called free will, which everything else in creation, in nature, is breathing by the breath of God and living according to the will of God. We have this thing called free will. So we have this ability to kind of stray from the path of harmony, the straight path of harmony and connection, that we never leave it because we are encompassed in one body. But we can stray from that path and test the boundaries of nature and how far can we push it in one direction or another. And right now we've pushed it pretty far, right? And we're testing that boundaries of extinction, of self-extinction. But we have that ability to push it. And we also have the ability to recognize when we've pushed too far and to return. But this divine expression, this divine essence is constantly testing the creation, its own creation, and expressing itself and emanating and serving through this creation. And we're all a part of that. And it is through us, through each of us, that those expressions come into this realm, and that service comes in, and testing the boundaries comes in. It's through us. It's through the breath that breathes us, the breath that breathes us, that created us to know our source, the divine essence, the one being, and it's through these acts that we come to know ourselves, to know our source, and to evolve our souls, right? So why do we take time to acknowledge the service that we have already given and the difference that we've already made? Not so that we can wave our flags, pat ourselves on the back. I mean, we can do that too, right? And but it's really to acknowledge what source is bringing through us, what we are being taught through the experience, what we're here to learn about ourselves and our source, and to integrate the teaching for the soul. Because when we integrate these teachings, when we acknowledge and we integrate, this strengthens the building blocks in our vessel so that we are more equipped for that next calling. Because as long as we have breath, we are constantly called. It is divine expressing through us, wanting to express through us, living through us. and all of the things that we do, right? So that's what we are going to do today. We are going to take some time to acknowledge the purpose that you have served and the difference that you've made, and to consciously open and receive the teachings and the gifts that you've been given through these experiences, to integrate on the soul level teachings, and to solidify those building blocks so that your vessel becomes stronger and more solidly equipped to move forward with your next calling. Okay, so let's go ahead and come into our meditation and healing circle. Let's come into our circle sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you, we ask you to send your essence of your pure divine light. And just allow yourself to come into our circle, sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together, and bring all of your focus and attention to face straight in front of you, straight toward the center of our circle. And we call on that pure divine light to stream into our circle. The light is a light of cleansing, of purifying, of illuminating. Let this stream directly into our circle. The name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. As it streams into our circle, just let your entire being be met with this light. And let your entire being receive this pure light. And let it come in through all of your sensory perceptors, through your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, your skin. And just let your entire being absorb it in, like when you go outside and you feel that sunshine, that bright sunshine, and it feels so good in your being when it falls on your skin, and you take that warmth all the way into your bones, especially after it's been cold for a while. So let yourself just take that in all the way into your bones. Let your entire being be filled with this warming, cleansing, purifying, illuminating light. And again, together, let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your essence of your unconditional love. Just imagine this unconditional love streaming into the center of our circle. Now let your heart center, that funnel of energy that extends from the front of your heart space, that vortex, just let that face toward the center of our circle, to that stream of unconditional love that just gently rains into this space. And let your funnel, that heart center, let it just tip up. You can even raise your hands up and receive this pure unconditional love into your heart center. Receive it all the way in, breathe it in. And breathe it all the way in through your heart center. And just let yourself lean back into your body. Lean back up against your spine, into your body, and receive this pure, unconditional love all the way into your heart. Let your heart center be like a breathing portal. Breathe it in. Inhale and breathe it in. As you exhale, just let your breath kind of excavate your heart space. So any of that clutter or tension or constriction that's been hanging out in your heart center, and honestly, it accumulates every day. So we need to wash the heart every day, if not several times a day, just like you wash your hands. Just wash your heart with this breath, breathing in this unconditional love, and exhale and blow out any of the tension, the clutter, the constriction from your heart center. Just release it and release it and release it. And just breathe in deeper with each inhale. Lean back toward your spine and let it like stream all the way in through this funnel until it goes all the way through your heart and into your vertical core. So it streams in, and you've got your vertical core is that funnel of energy or that stream of energy that comes in through the top of your head and goes all the way through the core of your body, through the center, along the front of your spine, all the way through and through your base. So let yourself lean into that space and take up that space. Take up that space. You can just inhale, draw all of your energy into that vertical core. And as you exhale, drop down and land into your pelvic bowl. Anchor into your power center in in the center of your pelvic bowl. If you've heard of that lower dantian point, it's about 4 fingers. If you put your hand like this, your hand in just under your belly button, sideways, with your 4 fingers horizontal to the floor, then you can feel that power center, that center of gravity at the center of your pelvic bowl space. It's halfway front to back, not on the surface, but all the way into the core of your body, halfway side to side, halfway front to back. And let yourself feel your power center there, that center of gravity. It's that place where we can center and balance in our bodies and anchor your weight into that space and lean your conscious body back against your spine to really hang out in that vertical core, in that flow. And inhale, draw that unconditional love in through your heart and let it stream into your vertical core while you hang out there like hanging out under a waterfall, right? You're in the bright sun, the light is shining on you. You're under the cool waterfall, drinking in the unconditional love, and you are anchored in your pelvic bowl in your center of gravity, fully centered and grounded and present in your body. And again, let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your essence of your eternal compassion. This eternal compassion is it is the womb of our entire creation, our entire existence, and it is pure compassion, ar-Rahman, pure compassion of God that is the container of all of this existence. Nothing exists outside of this container of eternal compassion. That's why it's called eternal. It contains everything within this time and space realm and beyond. So as you draw all of your energy, inhaling into your vertical core, and you exhale and drop down and land into your pelvic bowl and anchor into your center of gravity, your power center, the center of your pelvic space. Anchor into that, lean back against your spine, hang out in this vertical core, this life force energy, under this gentle waterfall of unconditional love, and let your entire being rest into this ocean of eternal compassion and be held in this safe womb, this cosmic womb that holds you, contains you, provides for you. It's your womb of safety. You're fully connected to all that is in this space. So feel yourself there, hold yourself there. Let yourself really receive in this space. And I want to just invite you in this moment to call on your source, angels, guides, healers, helpers, whatever works for you in terms of your belief systems and any terminology you like to use. Just call on that highest power. And if you have an invocation or that you would like to make, or an intention or a prayer or a request, make that from the depths of your heart, from, as my teacher used to say, from the deep sincere, from the deep sincerity in your heart. Just ask for what your heart seeks. And ask, for the purposes of this meditation, to be shown what it is that your source would like to share with you today, or to bring to you in a more conscious fashion today, about the service that you have been called to, that you have given, and the difference that it has made. So just make that intention up front and ask for support with that as we move forward in this meditation. And just notice, and you may feel an inspiration in you. You may have memories or pictures, or see movies, or feel emotions. But what comes to you in terms of that? And what does it connect you with in terms of service that you have given, the difference that you have made, or, any kind of expression that you've shared? What has moved through you? And as you connect in with that, as you feel that coming through you, just connect with the divine essence that moves through you, or that moved through you in that experience, like that presence of the divine that was inspiring those events. Just connect with that, feel it as best you can, and acknowledge it. Give it acknowledgement. This is the hidden treasure that desires to be known. So let yourself acknowledge it with the intention of really coming to know it. And breathe it in. And let yourself just breathe in and out through your heart center. It's anchored in your body and anchored in your heart. If it helps you, you can put one hand over your lower dantian, belly space, and one hand over your heart center. And just feel your presence in the core of your body, anchored into the spaces beneath your hands. And remember, this is not about you per se and what you did right or wrong or anything like that. This is about how the divine inspired you and moved through you in order to be known by you. So feel that inspired, that inspiration that flowed through you during those events, and give credit to your source. Acknowledgement to your source. And just observe, what was the divine orchestration in that set of events? How did the divine orchestrate that to bring it into your life? And I know sometimes the things that end up being the biggest blessings are orchestrated initially through what seems like hardship, some sort of heartache or illness or loss. And that's the way it goes sometimes. So that may or may not be the case for you, but just know that if it is, that this is also the divine working through you. So where was the divine orchestration? How did that play out? And again, just acknowledge, giving acknowledgement, and also observation, observing What is it? As a, like, maybe even stepping back and witnessing, how did that happen? Because the divine is the one who is the divine orchestrator of all things, that puts things into their right place at right time. And as my teacher used to say, nothing that hits you could have missed you, and nothing that misses you could have hit you. So just notice, like, during this orchestration, if there were any obstacles, or hardships or those things, just acknowledge also the perseverance and the strength that came through that. And acknowledge any support that you were given during that was divinely orchestrated to, whether it's an inner strength, a motivation, an inspiration, support from somewhere else, or that there was something already in place that you stepped up to support, where you were there to help, to support, to serve, to express, to make a difference somehow. And acknowledge, because God's not a tease, right? When you have an inspiration and you step in to do something, there is always something that you will learn from it, that you will give through it, that you will serve through it, that is being formed and built and strengthened, growing. Everything is always growing, and you are a part of that. So just recall, what was the immediate effect of that difference that you made? And again, ask to be shown beyond what you might hold in your memory, in your mental memory. Ask to be shown, what was the immediate effect in that difference that you made? Allow yourself to receive. Breathe with it and let it come in. And now notice there was an immediate effect on whoever you were directly involved with, or whatever you were directly involved with at the time. And there's also a ripple effect. There's always a ripple effect. So just ask to be shown, what was the ripple effect? How does your service continue, right? There are the divine names, if you're familiar with the divine names, of Al-Hayy, which is the life force, and there's Al-Muhyi, which is the regenerative life force that continues to regenerate and replenish life. So what was the Hayy, the immediate effect, and the Muhyi, that regenerative effect that keeps rippling through the creation to other people, the planet? And again, just breathing into your heart and listening, observing, witnessing. And not if, allow your heart to feel the reward, right? This teaching, this acknowledgement, allow your heart to receive it all the way into the core, right? Because, it's these emotions, feelings, sensations that we have are in us as a guide. It's a guidance system. So when we feel that inspiration, this is breath of spirit moving through us, guiding us towards something. When we feel the reward of it and the fulfillment from it, this is an acknowledgement, kind of like if you touch a hot stove and it burns, you instantly retract your hand and pull it back. But if you feel something that's like, oh, that feels so soft and so nice, you want to lean into it, right? That's information, right? That's guidance system. So when your heart feels inspired and it wants to act, that's inspiration. When it feels the fulfillment of that, it's not necessarily you taking credit. It is the guidance system. And it's giving you it's like a cycle, right? It's allowing you to receive what you are to receive from the experience and to integrate what has been given to you from that experience. So allow yourself to feel that sense of fulfillment and of joy that it returns to you. And allow yourself to be like, rest in that fulfillment. And as you rest into that, just ask, okay, what is the teaching? What is the teaching? And breathe that in. Breathe it in. Let it come all the way into your vertical core. Let it drop in. And let your being really receive it. And if there is a repatterning of a cellular consciousness that wants to come through, that can really write this into your operating system, into your code, into your blueprint. These teachings, what you did, what you received, just let that come all the way in. You may feel this like a tingling in your energy body. Let it come all the way in. Let it rewrite the code. Let it rewrite the code. Let it give your operating system an update to fully integrate this information that you received from this experience and all the teachings that go along with it. And breathe that all the way into your core and allow it to integrate at your core and really strengthen and solidify the core of your being. Kun fayakun, be and it is. Let it strengthen all the way into your core. And sit with that and breathe with that. I'm going to read from Fauzia's book, Rosina Fauzia Arawi, Divine Names, 99 Healing Names of the One Love. I'm going to read from Al-Qadir, the divine name of Al-Qadir, which is the one who is capable of everything, the powerful. This name shows a quality of Allah, the One, that manifests unlimited capacity and power. Everything in the universe is connected with this power. To discover it means to open up to one's own capacities and to be given the confidence that everything is possible. Al-Qadir grants courage, confidence, and strength, taking us from passivity into activity and enabling us to feel how divine strength works through us. So call on the divine power of Al-Qadir, which is the capable, the powerful. And feel how the divine works through you. taking you from passivity into activity and enabling you to feel how divine strength works through you. Al-Qadr, Al-Qadr, Al-Qadr. This is the one who is capable of all things. Who moved through you, through that divine orchestration. And there's another divine name, Al-Muqtadir, which is a form of Al-Qadr. Al-Muqtadir, mu in the front of one of the divine names is like how we embody the essence of that divine power. And Al-Muqtadir has a direct and personal effect on us. It puts us on the path to God and gives us the capacity to pursue it and to accept our individual fate. Step by step, we are guided in order to fulfill our destiny. Lovers take whatever power and capacity the beloved has given them, and they use it in the most beautiful of ways. So again, this is receiving that Qadir, the divine power of the capable, the powerful, the divine attributes, the qualities, taking that and bringing it into a direct and personal effect to take that step-by-step guidance in order to fulfill your destiny, to take whatever power and capacities the beloved, capital B beloved, your source, has given you and use it in the most beautiful of ways. So acknowledge this and receive and let your being integrate these divine powers of Al-Qadr and Al-Muqtadir. Al-Qadr and Al-Muqtadir. Al-Qadr manifests God's unrestricted capacity. Al-Muqtadir points out the all-encompassing manifestation of the capacity. Right? Reciting these two names together gives us the strength and the capacity to follow our vocation in life and to bestow this gifts on ourselves, on humankind, and on the world. So Al-Qadr, Al-Muqtadir. And let this really like integrate into your consciousness, right? These divine attributes are already a part of you. They're contained in the breath that breathes you and gives you life force and consciousness into your physical form, right? This is breath of spirit that breathes you. Without that, you have no life. Your life is not in this body, but your life is in this body right here and right now, and you are being breathed. And contained within that breath are the divine attributes of Al-Qadr, the powerful, the capable, and Al-Muqtadir, right? Which is Al-Muqtadir, which is that embodiment, right? That embodiment of that capabilities and power. So just let that, as you just call on those, invoke Ya Qadir, Ya Muqtadir, invoking those divine powers, breathe them in, right? And when you say the name of the divine power, Al-Qadir, Al-Muqtadir, as you say those names, it is like vibrating the resonance of those sound codes in your body. And it's like tapping a tuning fork, right? When you tap a tuning fork and put it next to another one, the other one begins to resonate. So as you say these names within yourself with your own voice, you are like vibrating the knowing that is a part of your divine life force energy inside your being and activating the inner knowing that that is a part of your life force in your breath that's already in you. So Al-Qadir, Al-Muqtadir, Al-Qadir, Al-Muqtadir. And let that integrate into your core. So your being, your whole being feels the God-given strength and capacity that is a part of it's a part of the divine moving through you, but also put into your form in a very unique way, specifically for you to come to recognize the divinity within yourself, to feel that. And everything in this life that is given is an opportunity for us to be strengthened, to be fortified, to be built for that, to strengthen us to take that next step, right? Because, we're always walking that line between what is God and what is the divine and what is my actions that I take, right? What is me? What is God? How is this a divine expression living through me? If God is the divine and is everything, then how do what do I do? Right? Should I just sit and wait and trust that God's going to take care of everything, or do I need to take some action? And I think of it as a form of like engaging with the divine breath and the divine inspiration that moves through, and engaging and acting with that. We are sensual beings. We have sensual capacities. We have sight, right? We have senses, sight, hearing. We have taste. We have smell. We have the feeling and texture. We also have an emotional body, and we have instinct, and we have all of these things that we are here to experience and feel through these bodies. And we are meant to have that and to do that. And we are meant to engage with this life force that breathes through us. And I think of it as like surfing, right? Like surfing the waves of the ocean and being with the ocean and with its waves and riding those waves and surfing them, right? Not allowing yourself to be toppled by them, but surfing them and swimming in the ocean and enjoying it and feeling it. So let yourself engage with these divine attributes with full acknowledgement of the divine, and also receiving it as a gift for you, your individuated self, because you are both, or you have that capacity for both. And let yourself engage with it. Ride the wave. Ride the wave. There is, and now I want to look it up. The Sufi poem that I quote often it says, these forms we seem to be. No, I have it in my computer, but excuse me while I type. Here it is. These forms we seem to be are cups floating in an ocean of living consciousness. And I usually will give you that line and then skip a couple of lines and say that next line. What we are is ocean, too near to see, though we swim in it and drink it in. And then he says, don't be a cup with a dry rim. Because I memorize those parts. I love that as a reminder. But now I'm going to read for you the full thing, because there's more to it. He says, these forms we seem to be are cups floating in an ocean of living consciousness. They fill and sink without leaving an arc of bubbles or any goodbye spray. What we are is that ocean, too near to see, though we swim in it and drink it in. Don't be a cup with a dry rim, or someone who rides all night and never knows the horse beneath his thighs, the surging that carries him along. Right? So it's like telling us, engage and feel it. Know the horse beneath your thighs. Know what surges and carries you along. Know it and be it. Like, engage with it. Ride with it. Surf the ocean, swim. Let yourself be a part of the experience and receive it. Receive it. Kun fayakun, be and it is. Be and it is. And this gives you that strength. Like really let yourself lean into your body. Let that strength come in and solidify you, strengthen you, so that you have the building blocks now to answer that next and respond to that next inspiration that wants to come through. And I'll close us with one more reading here from the Sufi Book of Life, Neil Douglas Klotz, 99 Pathways of the Heart for the Modern Dervish. And this is also from Al-Qadr in his book. What he says here, sorry about that. He says, the Sufis have sometimes speculated that if God is all there is, why do we need to do anything? God will provide. This pathway tells us that we need to center ourselves in life and grasp life's challenges. Center ourselves in life and grasp life challenges. Okay, I'll read this next part too. Saadi tells the following story about this. Once a dervish wandering through a forest happened upon a fox that had lost its legs. How does the poor thing manage to survive? He asked. Just then a tiger happened along, carrying its prey. The tiger ate what it wanted and left the rest for the fox. The next day the dervish came back, and the same thing happened. So that's how it's done, thought the dervish. I'll try the same. So he went home, sat in a corner, and waited for the universe to provide for him. He waited for days and nothing came. Finally, becoming famished, he heard a voice. You're following the wrong example. You have legs. Be like the tiger, not the fox. So what are your capabilities? What are your capacities? What is the strength that you have, and what inspiration moves through you? What do you have? If you have legs, don't be like the fox, be like the tiger. You take what you need and share the rest. You help those that you can help. And on those times and in those ways, because we all have both in our lives, there are some ways where others have the opportunity to give to us and we receive. There are other times where we have the capacity and the opportunity to give to others and we give. And this is the cycle of life. This is how we come to know and share with each other and love each other and give compassion and mercy and gift. We have the gift of giving and the gift of receiving, the gift of fulfillment when we are able to give and to help another. And that's how this world, this universe works. Kun fayakun, be and it is. It's all a divine orchestration bigger than what we could orchestrate for ourselves, bigger than any movie that we could create, right? Because it is very involved. And it's beyond our, I know it ripples beyond what we can see. All right, and with that, I'm going to open for our Q&A discussion. And for those of you listening to the recording, I thank you for listening, and I invite you to be here with us live next week on Sunday at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. Find information for joining us live at communityforconsciousliving.com. communityforconsciousliving.com. You can sign up there to receive reminders, replays, links to this and other events that we have, that we do. And you will also, when you sign up, receive 2 free gifts. One is a one-sheet download that was 10 spiritual principles of our human existence to remind us of who we are, what this world is about, why we're here, why we go through these things in this life. And it helps us to keep it in perspective when we lose perspective, which is very easy to do. And it also has a 15-minute downloadable guided meditation and audio that you can download and make a part of your daily practice. I hope you will, to help you to connect with that pure divine light the unconditional love, and the eternal compassion that is the core of your being, the breath that breathes you, the life force that lives through you. All right, with that, I thank you very much for being here in the recording and open for the Q&A.